There's a real problem in our quantum biofeedback industry, and it needs to be addressed and discussed. I started a forum to invite all of the brokers and the companies that were doing crimes to talk about this, give them a chance to respond, maybe clear their name, maybe tell us, explain, rationalize, you know, but after months, they have not come on. But here's one of the recordings that we started in the beginning, outlining their crimes. I want to start with expressing the need for open, honest communication, integrity. People talking behind my back just isn't going to help this industry in any way. And right now, there's a big, giant problem. And I have not been given any forum to talk to the brokers. I have not been given any forum. So I've established this forum to get your feedback and to share with you what's really, really happening so that we can go into and save this industry. This industry is about to have a real big, gigantic problem, is that Mandelay and QX World have both joined in several criminal actions that we need to address. We need to explore and be able to stop this. Gage Sterling and I have put together an American manufacturer to solve all these problems. But before I do, let me just talk a little bit about the history so that you understand. In 1976, the United States government was the first one in the world to pass a device act. All medical devices must be FDA registered, all devices, even the tongue depressor Q-tip. These, if they have anything to do with the medical community, they have to have an FDA registration. Not FDA approval, but FDA registration. Anything that was in the market before 1976 was to be grandfathered in. They did not grandfather in acupuncture needles. And I was the one that had to do that. And I got acupuncture needles registered. That's another story. It's a big, giant conflict. But I beat the FDA on that. The FDA controls quality control, safety, efficacy, and company claims. Can you turn off these?
No, everybody is on mute.
They're on mute?
Yeah.
I hear people talking.
Anybody who is on.
You mute them.
Okay, I don't know how. Wait. Okay, mute. Okay.
Okay, there we go.
I did.
So anybody who has any company, FDA controls quality control, safety, efficacy, and the FDA controls claims. I won't be able to concentrate. Can you shut the door? Put the cat out.
Kitty, go out.
Kitty wants to participate. Now, in 1985, I wanted to make a device. Well, the first thing that I do, if I'm going to do anything like this, is I find out what the law is. What's the law? It said the device had to be registered. At this point in time, so I called up the FDA, then. I talked to a nice lady, and she said, "What's your device do?" And I said, "Well, my device measures the body electric, and then we create a signal, and then we treat the body electric in a cybernetic loop." And she said, "Well, you have a choice." She says, "That sounds like biofeedback to me." I said, "Yeah, it's a type of biofeedback." She says, "But it's a different type of biofeedback. You'll have to register it and you'll have to do a PMA. You'll have to do research to establish. If you want to establish your own criteria, if you say your device is not biofeedback and you want to do your own criteria, that's going to be very expensive. That's going to take you several years, and that's going to cost about $100 million. I said, "Will you take a check?" She said, "No." So she advised me that we should register our devices biofeedback under the biofeedback rules, which we did. And I set out 1985, when she told me this, we needed to do a study. They said you needed to do approximately Yeah, you needed to do approximately 1,000 people. Well, Bill Cunningham and I, we got together and we did 935 people. And the FDA said, okay, that's close enough. They were able to accept our research. Uh, Before that, because of the Sunshine Act, which I put here, I was able to go to FDA meetings with the FDA training, et cetera, because they opened up to the public, Sunshine. I had to pay money. And over the course of a couple of years, I got about 300 hours in training. And there was one course I went to with David Kessler. If you remember David Kessler, he was the head of the FDA, and he went after cigarettes, so they got rid of him. But he told us in Utah, the FDA is going to make it very, very, very hard. Somebody else is not muted. If you would mute everybody, we're going to make it very, very hard for anybody to get a 510K. But we're going to make it very, very easy for you to keep it. There is no law that allows the FDA to take away. Somebody else is not muted.
Hey, Michelle, could you mute your microphone, please? We're hearing wind or something in the background. Thanks, hon.
You, everybody.
Everybody,
Mute them.
anybody who I see, it's on mute.
Okay, somebody. Emmanuel? Not muted. Okay. So anyway, Bill Cunningham and I, we got into doing the study, and we were able to prove, we studied the alarm response calibration, electroacupuncture, the electrophysiological reactivity, skin capacitance, skin conductance, trivector, and stress reduction. We had to prove at least one thing that our device did medically, and we were able to prove to the satisfaction of the FDA that our device worked on stress, reducing stress. Over 1989, I don't know, is that 35 years from ago, or is it still 34? I don't know. But on October the 13th, we got our FDA registration. Our registration includes a lot of things, but like I say, it includes VAR Hope and includes the EPR, electrophysiological reactivity. We were legal. Everything's fine. We're selling. We started selling the EPFX in Denver. We had trouble with the FDA because of the acupuncture needles. They could do nothing to the company. To Eclosion. Eclosion was operating correctly. No problem there. But yet they didn't like what I was doing with acupuncture needles. They created trouble for me. I moved to Europe, where I was able to then start developing the QXCI, later the SKIO, the Eductor, and these other things to be able to get this out for everybody and to be able to use it. We registered in 1996 in Hungary as part of the EC. We were able to then go through and all the different history of using this. Now, as this time went by, we were using this, but then gradually, Mandelay and QX World, for some reason or another, stopped using the 510K. After the Eductor came out for a couple of years, we were using it. Then all of a sudden, they decided to use a biofeedback exemption. The original law from the FDA, 1976 Device Act, all devices needed to be registered. However, the FDA later on was so overwhelmed by so many things, Q-tips, tongue depressors. They decided that certain things would be exempt from registration. And they decided that simple biofeedback would be exempt. Simple biofeedback, by their definition, meant these $100 devices you might get at Radio Shack, if you're old enough to remember Radio Shack. They're still in the market. They meant simple biofeedback, not complex biofeedback like ours. So those companies started using it. Well, what happened was that the FDA got wind of it and gave them both import alerts. They were stopped from importation because their device did a lot more than simple biofeedback. They were asked, both of them, to get their own registration. I have a class 2 registration. They told me they were going to use it, told me they were going to use it. They had this import alert 2019, 2020 for QX World. And Gage and Gage called me up on Christmas to tell me about this. I answered the phone, nobody else would, you know. And then we decided, well, we have to use the class 2. And to stop import alerts, we need to manufacture in America. QX World agreed, seemingly agreed. They were working on it, working on it, working on it. And literally, they were dicking us around and just didn't really do it, didn't really do it, didn't really do it. And trouble happened. I was illegally deported to America, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. All of this, stuff came down. And finally, about a year ago, Gage and Sterling could witness this. We were talking about it, and I said, listen, I said, QX World. I said, you guys, you're breaking the law. You got an import alert. See it here? Import alert, QX World. You were told you need registration. You're not getting registration. And now you're abreast of the law. Your device is adulterated, it's misbranded. And now, willfully and knowingly, you are circumventing the FDA by sending your devices into America as computer parts. This is a crime. A rather severe crime of willfully and knowingly. This is a felony, 5 to 10 years. This is not something simple. This is a very serious issue. I told them about a year ago, Gage and Sterling were there, everybody was there. And I said, you could be legal in the next minute if you just agree to work with my class 2. I already have a class 2. My class 2 is still valid. Here, I'll show you the I put down it's still valid. See, here it is. It's still valid. You can't take away a 510K. Of course, it's still valid. They had somebody write, they asked an FDA company that charges to get a new 510K. They asked them if they would, what did they think? Of course, they said you need a new one. That's how they make their money. They did not say that ours was bad. They said that they thought you should get a new one. But all of a sudden, QX World on that day, and I said, you don't care about legality, do you? You don't care about it. And they said, no. I told everybody, and I told Gage and Sterling, I need to go shopping. I will not participate in such a crime. I didn't want to go public with all of this until I could build another organization. And luckily, we found the ability to do this, put this all together. And we have a new eclosion, and we're manufacturing in America, and we have a product and software ready for you. We'll talk about that later, but let's go back into all of this. Because you see, if in America, if you're putting energy into the body, you need a class 2. I have a class 2. They didn't want to use it. Now, something else has happened that here in Europe in 2022, Europe is now reclassified, putting energy into the forehead, and they say it's class 3. Now, that's a pretty severe crime of pretending that your unit puts in energy, which is class 3, and you're trying to sell it as a class 1. That's a big problem. That's a problem in Europe too. That's another massive crime. When you willfully, knowingly are doing this, it's a crime. I've been trying to get these people, and I'm trying to get the brokers to understand, this is heading towards a device recall. This is heading towards a device recall. This is going to be a problem. Now let's go through some of these other crimes. I've talked about the misbranding. This is a serious crime. I provided you proof if you want to get this document and go through all the proof. I don't have time today. Okay? Deceptive advertising. Now, Gary and them have been making changes on the software.
On the wording.
Not just the wording. They have been making changes internally of the software, taking out the trivector because it's expensive. In the trivector, when you're sending messages out and bringing them back, as you're making changes, you have to
work without the trivector.
Well, but you have to work on this, and they don't want to spend the time.
That
and
creates the
money.
biofeedback loop.
Well, this is the essential thing. So now we knew Mandelay didn't have trivector because the software they're using was a demo software that didn't have any of that. And now we know QX World is fraudulent, deceptive advertising. Every time you do a patient, you bring up that matrix and you say that this is from the trivector. It is not. These people are now doing fraudulent, deceptive advertising, and I can prove it. We've analyzed their devices. The trivectors are gone. This is another crime. When I go to court, I'll be proving to everybody the extent of this crime. That's another crime. The fact that the brokers are all sitting around talking about it, just talking about trade secret theft, just talking about these crimes is conspiracy. You don't even have to do these. Just talking about that's a crime of conspiracy. Now, trade secret theft and the development of all of this, right back in 1985, all those little processes. These are trade secrets. These are my trade secrets. The prayer wheels, my trade secret. Stealing my trade secret is a major crime. Breach of contract, QX World and Mandelay both have contracts with me. I'm having a hard time enforcing those contracts in Hungary because as we're finding out more and more every day, Hungary is a country without real law. Something crazy going on there. Europe is mad at Hungary, all the different things that are happening here. Now, Andrea and QX World have asked people to lie in court and to say that Andrea wrote the software, wrote the technology.
Andrea was Sterling's babysitter.
Andrea was Sterling's babysitter. Eboya from Mandelay was Sterling's babysitter. These are not the people that can lead this industry. Excuse me. That's another crime. Now we get down to copyright infringement. Yes, I wrote the words. Those are all my words. All the screenshots, Spanish, German, all those things. They're all copyrighted to me. You're using my words. You can't think somebody else's
No.
thought.
Oh yeah,
Pesos.
that's fine now.
Okay. So,
Akkor mindened van, ez meg, ugye?
okay.
Jól vagy? Jól. Igyál sok vizet és pihenjél. Jó?
Meg mondtad, hogy sok bölcséget.
Igen. Tehát próbálj. Igen. Hát, ha nem más, legalább minden nap.
Well, okay, what you're talking
I don't see where.
Sétálni.
Az olyan sok eset.
Az jó, az is jó, hogyha csak
Ne
legyél
haragudj meg,
tudod, hogy
te a mikrofont elindítod akárki is itt a...
It's Clark Sog. There we go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Then you?
I own the words. Now that's copyright infringement. But if you look here, that's the least of the crimes. That's the least of the crimes. I've sent letters, several warning letters to all of the brokers. Do you want to be named as one of the 50 accomplices in a more than $50 million criminal conspiracy to willfully defraud people with an adulterated, fraudulent, deceptive medical device with IP, trade secret theft, and other potential crimes? Excuse me, what's going to happen? Me and my lawyers have advised me I must take advantage. Where's it? I must take advantage of the Whistleblower Act. The Whistleblower Protection Act. I will be blowing, I have to do this because I have to protect me. I have to protect my family and etc. There's a new European Commission Whistleblower Act. In the Whistleblower Act, where I am reporting all of these crimes, I am compelled by law to list the accomplices. All of the brokers, I told them, you're on their selling list, you're a list of accomplices. If you would get off that list and if you would work with me and want to join me in the whistleblower, if we can take your name off that. A couple of the brokers have said, okay, signed on to the class action suit. Most of them have not. This is a big problem. And I don't know what's going on. And now I know that there's ignorance. They're ignoring. There's somehow or another they're ignoring. They're thinking it's not going to happen. I'm compelled to hit the button on the whistleblower. I have to do this. I haven't done it yet. It's pretty much ready to go. There's all kinds of forms. We got forms from the Department of Justice, the FBI, the FDA, intellectual property offices, even Microsoft gave us infringement, forms, etc. All of this, Interpol, the Hungarian Intellectual Office, Property Office. So I have all these forms, lawyers and I working on them, haven't hit print. And to date, most of these brokers are not responding. Now I say ignorant, but I'm going to have to go a little further than that and say stupidity. They're involved on a medical device fraud issue that Mandelay's been doing this for 5 years since I gave them a cease and desist.
Do you want to ask if anybody wants to say
Hang on,
something?
not yet. I gave Mandelay a cease and desist in 2017. QX World, they gave them a cease and desist 2023. If you're continuing to do these crimes after a cease and desist, knowingly, willfully being involved in crimes, I've given all of you people a cease and desist on this. Oh my God. This is crazy. I'm going to have to say it goes beyond ignorance, ignoring, to stupidity. What the fuck? Now, like I said in the beginning, let's talk. Let's communicate. But they don't want to. They're hiding. They're facing possible jail time. QX World, just as of a couple of weeks ago, on their software, Gage and other people went on their software, on the Omni, on the license agreement, and found item number 8 that Desiree Dubonnet owns the copyright. I own the copyright. on their webpage. Mandelay on their webpage says, I own this technology. I own the IP. Now, both companies are saying that I gave them permission. Keyword past tense, gave, when they stopped paying me.
And until they asked of your approval for the science officer.
And hang on. And then I gave them a cease and desist. All the rights ended on the cease and desist. You can't keep using. I gave you permission when you were paying me, and I gave you permission when you were acting legally, but now you're not acting legally.
You gave them permission until there was a cooperation with you.
I gave them a cease and desist from the criminal activity. I'm sorry. Wake up, people. We're about to hit the big button here on the Whistleblower Act. Now, what I've done today is just a day to go over this, and I'm going to open up the topics about what to do. Because what the industry is facing is a massive recall. What does that mean? Your devices will be illegal and repossessed. I'm trying to avoid that. I am trying to avoid that. We're going to open up the forum to get some feedback here for people to talk. But first, I want you to know that I am still by the contract listed as science officer for both companies. And I am issuing, next week, we'll be talking about this more. It's not quite ready yet. I will be issuing a corrective action software. I will have software for the SKIOs and later for all of the devices that will not only correct the trivector problems, the voltammetry, it will also correct many other functions. It will bring you up to snuff and bring you into compliance. That will be a mandatory software upgrade for you. You can get it from me through our network. I will be discussing more of that in the future. Now into our new technology, the Nelson Quantum Biofeedback. We have a brand new technology with many, many, many substantial improvements. Too many for me to talk about today, because today is just an issue for me to be telling you. I also have a new time crystal phone that we'll be talking about. Many different things. And I'm hoping that after today, we can end the backstabbing. People are going to tell you that what I'm telling you today is just not, please, let's open up and let's talk. Please, let's get a chance to communicate. Let's get a chance to discuss openly, not behind people's backs. We've invited all of these people here today. We invited all the brokers here today, of course. I don't know if any of them showed up. Just to offer a little bit of speculation, Andras actually had a friend who told him that he heard pretty strong rumor that the Hungarian military has got a hold of our device and using it for military purposes.
To torture people.
Well, and they actually use the word torture, and that could only be done if they disabled my prayer wheel, which now I'm completely out of touch to be able to even tell you that that's true or not true. Then the other thing is that the Pantavox company was the manufacturer of the device, the actual hardware. Gary owned the part of Pantavox that made the device. Gary's name was part of one of the owners of Pantavox. Pantavox was liquidated by the Hungarian government. When I say liquidated, this is like an IRS liquidator, a team of forensic accountants who flooded into the company to look at every penny and look at every name, etc. Of course, they would have seen that Pantavox / Gary we're only declaring about 7 to 8 devices out of every 10 and not declaring the full amount of what they sold so that they could avoid Hungarian tax. That's pretty serious crime. And it could be that the liquidator got a hold of that and might be behind what's happening. Because let's ask ourselves the question, why did QX World for 10 years pay me money every month?
On several accounts, on.
No, they paid me.
Every account was okay for you to.
They paid me
Yeah.
every month. Why? Why did they stop is the question. I know why they paid me because, of course, I developed the technology. All of a sudden, they stopped. And I wrote to them and I said, I'll tell you what, if you want to use my name and use my copyright and etc., you give me $5,000-6,000 a month, dollars. We'll work out a deal, you know, $5,000-6,000 a month. All of a sudden, they stopped. Somebody's talking.
Somebody under name iPhone is, yeah.
All of a sudden, they stopped. Well, this is a company that made $3 million in a year after paying taxes and after payroll, $3 million. Now, you know, and they can't pay me $5,000 a month, 5,000. Something's wrong here. Could it be that there's something else going on in Hungary? We have no idea. We're not being told the truth. I tried to talk, I tried to discuss, I tried to create a forum. The bottom line is we now know for a fact, and I can prove it to any one of you. I can prove the absolute fact. They have disabled the trivector. That's a fact. I can prove that to you.
I have
I'd be
received
happy to
several
show you.
phone calls from clients that they don't feel good. They experience several anxiety attacks and panic attacks.
We
And
get complaints.
yeah, for
It's
just for,
over 35 people now are complaining.
and some of them are going to share it also in writing very soon. What I have.
They're
received.
afraid to share it, but some of them will.
But excuse me, why would anybody be afraid if they are actually making this for a living to help people to get better? And why would they not want it to work properly? And why would they not ask the inventor what is really going on and what is happening?
People are afraid of controversy.
But they invested money in it. It is not about who likes who or what is what, who says what. It's about they invested a big amount of money to a valuable equipment, and they need to know the facts and the truth.
You people, the industry, do not seem to have any ability to affect the brokers or the companies. So I am going to help you with a new software. I'm going to help you with a new device. Our new technology is so exciting. When we start to tell you about it, your jaws are all going to drop. It's going to be incredible what we're doing.
The new player wheel is incredible as well.
I got my son into this to, you know, help guarantee, the stability of this. Gage and I go way back and worked so long together. And as soon as Gage and I saw that they were going to continue criminal import, willfully, knowingly, computer part import, willfully. As soon as Gage and I saw that, we said no. And we went shopping, found someplace else. And next week, we will be unveiling more of that for you. We'll continue this.
Jesse, do you mind if I interject here a little bit? It's very important for everyone here to understand that the programmer that we're working with, their base software is not our software. You are the ones that added Trivector into it, and then working very, very hard on the matrix and ensuring that things go correctly. Because right now, people might get misdirected to the wrong website. And it's not available for download.
Yeah, only the Eclosion company has my Trivector at this point.
And are now some quantum biofeedback.
Right. And we work hours and hours and hours every day on this website, both Desi and I and the programmers. And our software is our software. It's not available from other companies' websites
Yeah,
to download.
and that's good point.
Just from occlusion and Nelson quantum biofeedback.
Yeah. Nelson quantum biofeedback doesn't sell software or devices. That's just a technology.
Yeah, but we provide information about the technology,
We
the
provide information of
improvements.
the technology,
Yes,
not the
and
devices. That's a different subject. That
we are
talk about.
unveiling the technology and the improvements and all the positive effects of it.
I cannot, all of the warning letters and everything that I've done to all of these brokers seem to be falling on deaf ears. I am compelled very soon to hit that button on the whistleblower and send to all of these agencies, because thereby I'm granted immunity. They will go into a complete money trail of who bought what. Discovery will be made over the last 5 years of everybody who bought a device from Mandelay through SST or any of those other companies. All of those people will be disclosed. Their devices and their system will be up for recall. It will be terrible, but we can't seem to avoid it. Mandelay and QX World aren't coming to the table. The brokers aren't even coming to the table. And what they're going to find is that these people are selling a class 2 device, and they're doing it inappropriately. They need to have the proper connection. I just wanted to say something else because of the incredible research that has gone on into cranial electrical stimulation. This is why Europe made it class 3. There's incredible research that shows that it's going to take the place of drugs. What we're sitting on is a gold mine. And what I'm telling you this is because you're not going to get another 510K on this. It's not going to happen. There's no law that allows them to take away my 510K. But if anybody thinks that they're going to get a 510K on the VAR-HOPE or the EPR, they're going to get a VAR-HOPE on nosodes, isodes. They're going to get a VAR-HOPE on sarcodes. I have it. I'm not going to get rid of it. I have this. We have done the technology. We got the FDA class 2. Nobody's going to get another one. Okay. So if somebody says, "Oh, we got our class 2, we're going to get it next week," don't believe that crap. Don't believe that crap. Somebody else want to chime in with a commento? Tumbleweeds.
I just want to thank you though, Desi and Ritus. You guys are amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you a billion. That should have been said at the start. Thank you.
Thank you.
Christy, you want to share something about your experience working with me and the new technology and the prayer wheel?
Yeah, I just want to say I swear by this technology. It's amazing. I've been doing this for about 15 years, professionally for maybe last 7, did 2 different clinical trials, registered on clinicaltrials.gov. This stuff is amazing. And you are right, Desi. You're sitting on a gold mine. This has to be expanded more rather than these crappy companies. I'm sick and tired of it. Desi, I stand behind you completely. Clean up this industry, please.
Thank you, Katie. I also mentioned Christy Hernandez, but
Thank you.
thank you, Katie.
Eboya was Sterling's babysitter, and I gave her an opportunity, and all of a sudden she went off. And then Andrea was Sterling's babysitter, and I gave her an opportunity. And now these people think that they're the leader of the industry without any real college or education
or science.
science or any of that behind them. And then it could just be that this really is a Hungarian problem, that maybe the Hungarian government or Hungarian military is some of these rumors that maybe they got a deeper hold on
What
what's
my
going on. But what I can tell you is, we are turning our back on this, and QX World, whatever, they believe that we can't touch them because they're in Hungary. Okay, that might be true, but brokers, don't you get it? You're not in Hungary.
Okay, my first negative
Brokers, don't you
experience,
get it?
my first negative experience about that was when they had a contract with Desiree that all the modifications and new
Yeah, they offered
devices,
me some
new
stupid
new
bucks.
inventions and new education has to be shared and approved by the science officer. And there was a huge congress in Hungary about 2019 or 20.
Yeah.
And without Desiree knowing, there was a new device, new harnesses, new lecturers, new equipment. And on the day when the lecturer took part in that beautiful hotel, they showed Desi, hey, can you please talk about this? And she was like, what?
Behind me, they had 5 new products,
5 minimum.
5 of them on the screen, and they said, talk about these products. And I said, well, what are they? They gave me 5 seconds to prepare. I said, what? The lack of professionalism, etc.
So there I could clearly see
Oh.
that there is a very negative shift and they want to be apart and do it on their own. And it really started extremely right there on that Congress.
Well, and then what I can tell you, I was illegally deported from a country. That's a big giant story in itself. Every time we would go see lawyers, the lawyers would tell us the Hungarians don't care about the law. They care more about
Your lawyers told you that in person.
Yeah, how many lawyers? 10 lawyers told us this. We would go, and well, they don't really care about the law. Well, at any rate, I do care about the law, and I care about all of you. And you are in a place where now the bad decisions of these companies and the even stupider decisions of the brokers, it's going to have ramifications. And I hope that you people can write to me privately if you have questions. If there's somebody saying something different about, they said, oh, that's not true, whatever, do a conference call. It's Skype, Messenger, whatever, just it's free.
And why cannot
Tell me.
the mentioned
Do a
parties
conference.
participate in a conference call with you?
Why didn't they come on here today?
Maybe they are here, we don't know.
Come on. I don't know. But why don't they make themselves known? You got something to say it. Okay? Don't say, oh, Desi isn't telling you the truth. No, everything I'm telling you. Everything I'm telling you. This
And
is all
they
true.
mentioned to Desi that they would like to pay them. I have seen that agreement. They wanted to be in charge of the science officer position, and they wanted Desi to sign a
They wanted to
contract.
give them all my intellectual property.
And they can cancel that contract anytime they wish.
They could cancel the contract before the first payment. They offered me 20K a month.
And Desi,
Well, I wrote to them and I said, listen, over the last year, that 20K, it's $260,000. You pay me that. Take my name off of everything. Just take my name off
but
everything.
you would be not in charge of your science officer position.
Just do your own thing. Don't use any of my trade secrets. Don't use any of my words. Just do your own thing. Create your own trade secrets. Fine. Just do everything different. Drop my name. Don't tell anybody, oh, this is Desi's tech. No, just say this is the ex-babysitter of Sterling's technology. Just do that. And pay me the money that you owe me from last year and go your own way. No, of course not. They don't want to do that. They're still taking advantage of my name, not paying me, which is bad enough, but now to extend that to extreme criminal medical device adulteration, fraudulent promotion.
I highly believe that anybody who will experience the new program, the new technology, and the new prayer will feel the significant and huge difference, and they will feel that it is spiritual, protected, and it's really made to feel people good and centered, and they
Look,
deserve.
I'm sitting on the gold mine here now. This is genius. God gave me these gifts, and God gave me this knowledge to, to share with you and to share with the world. And this is incredible. And we are going to just go to the stars and the moon with this. And you're all, going to, you've been seeing this for years. And one day somebody's going to say, yeah, how much did the Hungarian people help you? And I'm going to say, no, I did this in spite of them. I did all of this in spite of them. I have to restructure and rebuild Immune. I have to restructure IM Flix. I have to restructure everything. All of that's been
Deleted.
Yeah, it's all been deleted. And I have to restructure everything. But I will. There's a story, I'll try to end this with a story of a man in India. He was Buddhist, and he spent 20 years of his life, and he carved all of the Buddha's sutras, all the wise sayings of the Buddha, into blocks of stone, 1 meter by 1 meter, 700 blocks of stone, and he carved it. And then in came the army from the north, and they broke all the stones. So he spent the next 23 years of his life, and he carved it again. This time was 800. An army from the west came in and broke all the stones. He spent the last 25 years of his life now making 900 stones, making them great big stones carved into sutras of the Buddha. Just before he died, he said he was thankful that the armies came in and destroyed it, because the third time was so much better than the first two.
Orshi is here also. Orshi, would you like to share anything about the new technology or anything?
Oh, good.
I know.
So I just made a nice little
Yeah,
statement,
I know.
giving somebody a chance to respond to my Buddhist thing.
It's amazing.
Okay. Any questions out on the topic here?
What's next?
Well, the next is I will be hitting the button on this whistleblower. And it's a question of who's going to be on the accomplice list. If you have any connection to these people, try to get some sense into their
Hello.
head. Try to get some sense.
I sent my letter yesterday. It's registered mail.
Well,
Am uitat.
it's time
Te
for
rog frumos, dăm voie până mâine dimineață. Bine. Bine, dăm voie, te rog, mâine oricum trebuie să fac comandă de la...
I don't know who that is.
me neither.
I just wanted to share real quick that the EPX or the EPIX software is really exciting, and I've had, I think, 3 sessions on it. I can't wait. I don't care what you get ready first. I'm getting it.
Cool.
I can't, it's like it's lifted something off of me that's needed to be gone for the last 18 years. I can't tell you what it is, but my confidence level is up, and I'm just really in a mood to not take any more crap from anybody over anything that's truthful and lawful. So I don't know, maybe it just brings a person into who their true nature is. But thank you, Desiree. I really appreciate you staying true to the truth and the law.
Well,
Because
there's no sense in it. That's why the first thing I did when I came up with this device, this technology, is I called up the FDA. What do I need to do? What do you need to do? Okay, fine. I did it, got it registered, 1989. Incredible, a long, long time ago, and then just gradually improved on it. And as Rita will tell you, every day I get up, I do a little more, I do some work, I do this, I do that. I create new things. You're going to see some exciting things coming.
The new
down.
frequencies and the new sports programs are also incredible.
It's amazing. Everything what I've been doing now with Opto, Sono epigenetics, recreating, unlocking DNA disturbances and etc. Oh, it's just incredible, the potential is what we have. And God's given me a blessing for this. And I'm sure that God took me to Hungary to accomplish some things and to learn some lessons. And maybe I couldn't have done that here. The bottom line is we're going to do it now. We're going to do it right. We're expanding this in a day and age that it needs, the world needs this. The world needs this now. And that's what this is about. And I've graciously, wanted to finally let you guys hear this entire story, because a lot of you have been told, oh, Desi just wants money. Well, yeah,
Who does?
sure. I'm sorry, I do have an electric bill, a water bill, etc. And oh, by the way, on the whistleblower, when they go to repossess the money from SST, seriously stupid technologies, when they go to get that, all the money recovered, I get 20% of. Anybody who joins me in the whistleblower can make money there too.
Two
Next
cents
week,
worth.
we spent an hour now today, and next week I will address any questions that you people write to me from today, and then I'll start introducing some of the new stuff. I'll talk about some of the new things that we have. But the time crystal scalar tech inside the machine, and quantum coherency analyzer, and a bunch of other things been added to the program. And I'll be talking about all the new stuff that we're adding to the technology. Okay? So I'll look forward to seeing you people next week. If you have any questions that you didn't feel like voicing today and you want me to ask them, go on to the Ask site, ask me privately, or
send us an email.
send us an email.
Yeah.
Rita will tell you the email to get. Nelson Quantum Biofeedback, all one word.
At gmail.com.
One giant word, Nelson Quantum Biofeedback. And at gmail.com. So, okay. Okay, guys. I'll knock off. Bye.
Let's continue next Wednesday.
How do I turn?
Thank you. Thank you guys. Bye.
Thank you.